All right, let's dive in. Today, we're exploring numerology.
Oh, cool.
But, not just the surface level stuff. We're going deep,
Okay.
like really deep into what makes those born on the 12th of any month tick.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we're using this document on numerology as our roadmap, really trying to crack the code of these personalities.
Right.
It's just wild to me how your birth date, just one number,
Yeah,
could reveal so much about who you are.
absolutely.
It's like almost a cosmic blueprint.
I like that.
What about you?
Well, and what's really fascinating about those born on the 12th
Uh-huh.
is that they're often described as having this magnetic quality.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the source material really highlights their communication, their persuasiveness, even like a trend-setting kind of vibe.
So they're not just blending in, they're standing out.
Exactly. They're the ones everyone notices.
Interesting.
And this magnetism, it's not just skin deep either.
Okay.
The number 12 itself symbolizes a complete cycle, a full experience. Oh, wow.
So it hints at this depth of character, this inner strength.
That draws people in?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's more to them than meets the eye.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's substance behind the charm.
Right.
But the document also mentions, a tendency towards flirtation, let's say.
Right.
Does that tie into the magnetism thing, do you think?
It could, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that the document specifically advises those born on the 12th to be wary of superficial flattery.
Huh.
And to really prioritize that genuine connection.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's like a reminder that real magnetism comes from authenticity, not just putting on a show.
Right. So it's not just about being charming. It's about using that charm for something real.
Exactly.
Okay, so now let's get into life path number 12 itself.
All right.
The document really highlights this blend of practicality and creativity, which seems, I don't know, kind of contradictory.
Yeah.
Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. So it's a really fascinating combination, right? Yeah.
Imagine someone who's super responsible, organized, even a bit pragmatic, but also has this strong artistic talent,
Okay.
deep intuition and sensitivity.
So like the person who plans the perfect fundraiser,
Yes.
but then also delivers the speech that makes everyone cry.
Exactly. That's a great example.
Wow.
The document even highlights folks like Bob Dylan, Katharine Hepburn, even George Carlin, all born on the 12th.
Oh, wow.
And all showcasing that mix of groundedness and creative brilliance.
So maybe there's something to this birth date influence.
It makes you wonder, right?
It really does. But hold on, the document also talks about potential weaknesses.
Right.
It's like every strength has its flip side,
Absolutely.
So what are we talking about here?
Well, for Life Path 12, the source mentions a tendency towards emotional turbulence, fear of failure, even overemphasizing the practical at the expense of their creative side.
So it's this constant balancing act between responsibility and letting that artistic side flourish.
Yeah. It's a tightrope walk.
It sounds tough.
It can be.
And then there's that added pressure of, the karmic debt.
Oh, right. Yes.
Working through that.
Now, that's an intriguing concept.
Yeah, tell me more.
It suggests that individuals with Life Path 12 might have, specific lessons to learn in this lifetime, related to responsibility, practicality, and emotional balance, almost as if they're here to master these very themes.
It's a lot to unpack. Wow.
It is.
So how would someone even know if they're dealing with this karmic debt?
That's a great question.
Are there, signs?
Well, the document doesn't give specific signs, but it suggests that those challenges we just discussed, like the emotional turbulence, overemphasizing the practical, could actually be indicators. It's like those struggles are actually pushing them towards growth in those areas.
Interesting. So it's not about punishment, it's about opportunity.
Exactly. Opportunities to learn and evolve.
And this ties back to the whole practicality and creativity blend.
It does. It's all connected.
Finding that sweet spot where both sides can thrive.
That's the key.
Fascinating.
It is.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah?
Stick with us. We'll be back soon to delve even deeper into the world of Life Path 12.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back, and I'm really curious about this whole practicality creativity blend.
Yeah.
How does that actually play out, like in career choices?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It gets really interesting there. The document suggests that people with this Life Path 12 are often drawn to fields where they can make, a tangible difference. Think law, medicine, engineering.
Oh.
Those careers that really require structure and responsibility.
Yeah. That makes sense with their grounded nature.
Right.
But wouldn't that stifle their creative side?
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
Because the document also emphasizes a strong pull towards artistic and humanitarian pursuits.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not about choosing one or the other. It's finding a way to integrate both.
So you could have a surgeon who's also a sculptor, like on the weekends?
Exactly. Or a lawyer who writes poetry.
That's amazing.
Yeah. You know, this duality, it's at the heart of Life Path 12. Their challenge and their potential, it lies in merging these, like, seemingly opposite sides.
It's like having the best of both worlds.
It really is.
And it even mentions those born on the 12th.
Yeah.
Often feeling drawn to careers with a social impact.
Like activism.
Oh, right.
Spiritual leadership, even.
It's like this drive to make the world better, but in a practical, hands-on way.
Exactly.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is. But the document also cautions against losing sight of those creative needs.
Okay.
You know, overemphasizing the practical can lead to frustration.
Right.
A feeling of being unfulfilled.
So how do they avoid that trap?
Well, I think self-awareness is key here.
Yeah.
Recognizing when they're neglecting one side over the other.
Okay.
It might mean, like, actively carving out time for creative pursuits.
Right, even amidst a demanding career.
Exactly.
So it's not just about finding the right job. It's about creating a whole life that honors both sides.
I think that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, and this ties back to the karmic debt, right?
Oh, absolutely.
If someone's constantly feeling pulled in opposite directions, maybe that's a sign to find that balance.
It's like those struggles are guiding them towards integration.
That's a powerful idea.
It is.
But the document also mentions hidden emotional depths.
Oh, yes. What does that even mean?
So it's talking about having a really profound connection to their intuition, their emotions. But they might not always, express it openly.
Oh, okay.
It's like a wellspring of feeling beneath a calm surface.
So that might appear composed, but inside there's this whole world going on.
Precisely.
Wow, and this hidden depth.
Yeah.
It can be both a strength and a challenge, right?
It fuels their empathy, their creativity.
Yeah.
But also makes them susceptible to being overwhelmed by those feelings.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword in a way.
So how do they navigate that?
I think finding healthy outlets is crucial.
Okay.
Whether it's art, writing, meditation, even just talking to someone they trust.
Right.
It's about releasing that emotional pressure in a constructive way.
So emotional intelligence is a key skill to develop here.
Absolutely.
Wow, this is so much more than just like a personality profile.
It is.
It's like we're uncovering a blueprint for self-discovery.
I like that.
That's the power of numerology when you go beyond the surface level.
You said it.
Yeah. Using this knowledge to understand yourself, make choices that are aligned with who you really are.
Exactly.
Okay, but hold on. The document also mentions a potential for greatness with this life path.
Right.
How does that fit in?
So it suggests that individuals with this Life Path 12 have this inherent drive to achieve their goals and make a positive impact on the world.
Like they're meant for big things.
Well, yeah, but the source also cautions against those pitfalls of perfectionism and fear of failure.
So it's not just about reaching the top.
No.
It's about how they approach the journey.
It's about the climb.
That's interesting.
You know, true greatness, according to the document, lies in aligning your actions with your values.
Regardless of, like, external measures of success.
Exactly.
So someone with Life Path 12, they might achieve great things, but their true measure of success is how authentically they lived their life.
Right.
How much they honored both their practical and creative sides.
That's the essence of it.
Wow, this has been eye-opening.
It has.
But there's one last piece we need to explore.
Oh, right.
The potential for a spiritual awakening or crisis.
That's where things get really interesting.
It does sound fascinating.
And a little intense.
Okay, well, listeners, we'll be back soon to delve into that and wrap up our exploration of Life Path 12.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the show, listeners. We're wrapping up our deep dive into Life Path number 12.
Yeah.
And we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger, right?
We did.
This whole potential for a spiritual awakening or crisis, it's
big.
It's big. And this is where the idea of the number 12 representing that complete cycle of experience,
Right, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, it really becomes relevant.
It does.
So help me understand this.
Okay.
How does this spiritual awakening actually play out? especially for those born on the 12th?
Well, the document suggests it can manifest in a lot of different ways, like a sudden realization, a really emotionally charged experience, even a period of like deep questioning, doubt even.
Oh, wow.
It's essentially a shift in how they see themselves and their place in the world.
So it's not just about finding the right career.
Right.
Or balancing those creative and practical sides.
It's bigger than that.
There's a whole other level, too.
Yeah, the spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
It pushes them to seek a greater purpose.
Okay.
Connection to something beyond just, their everyday life.
That sounds intense.
It can be.
Like maybe even unsettling for some people.
It can be unsettling for sure.
Yeah, but this process, even if it involves a crisis.
Even if it's a crisis.
It ultimately leads to.
The document really emphasizes that it leads to greater self-awareness.
Oh, okay.
A stronger sense of purpose.
So it's like going through the fire to come out stronger on the other side.
It's a good analogy.
So how does this awakening, how does it tie into all the other stuff we talked about?
Yeah.
The practicality, the creativity, the emotional depth. Is it all?
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah, their practical skills, they help ground their spiritual insights.
Yeah.
It keeps them from getting lost in the abstract.
Right, right.
And then their creativity allows them to express those, like, really profound experiences in unique ways, right?
Through art, writing, you mean?
It could be art, writing, even just their actions in the world.
Oh, interesting.
And then their emotional depth allows them to connect with others on a really deep level.
Wow.
To offer empathy, understanding.
It's like this awakening brings all these pieces together.
It does. It's about becoming a more integrated whole person.
It's like a puzzle, and all the pieces finally fit.
Exactly.
And the document even suggests that this awakening often acts as like a catalyst.
A catalyst for them to use their gifts.
Okay.
To make a positive impact on the world.
So it's not just a personal journey.
Right.
It's about finding their place in the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's recognizing their potential to contribute something meaningful.
To leave their mark.
Yeah, to leave their mark.
Wow, this has been such a fascinating deep dive.
It has been.
We've learned so much about those born on the 12th.
Yeah.
Their strengths, challenges, this incredible potential.
It's amazing how much we can learn from just one number.
It really is. And, for our listeners out there who might be thinking, hey, this sounds familiar. Maybe I'm going through something similar.
Right.
What advice would you give them?
Well, I'd echo what the document says.
Okay.
Trust the process.
Even if it's tough.
Even if it feels confusing, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Embrace the questions, the doubts. It's all part of the journey.
And maybe even look back at those challenges, those times you felt pulled in different directions.
Right.
And see if maybe they were actually guiding you towards this awakening.
I think that's a really powerful perspective.
It is. It's often in those moments of struggle that we learn the most.
Absolutely.
So whether you resonate with the specific traits of life path number 12 or not, the key takeaway here is we all have this unique journey, this purpose to discover, a contribution to make.
I think you do.
And maybe exploring things like numerology can offer some valuable insights along the way.
I think so.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of life path number 12.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.